Hello, everyone. This is Robert from Book of Mormon Editions, where we discuss printings, publications, and various editions of the Book of Mormon. It seems that in the 1970s, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints published a number of editions of the Book of Mormon for various audiences, either through its missionary editions or through its printing arm of Deseret bookstores. Today, we will review the 1978 large print edition of the Book of Mormon, published by Deseret Book. Once we go through it, you'll see why this edition is unique and also support some ideas that we'll spend some time on regarding Book of Mormon geography. So this is a blue soft cover volume measuring 10 1/4 inches by 7 inches and is about 1.5 inches thick. The copyright was listed at 1957, with the text matching the format and layout used since 1920. The text of the book matches the church's 1970s other printings, where the page numbers and verses per page match the other editions of the time. The obvious feature of this large print edition is that the text font is enlarged. This is a common feature for someone needing a larger font in order to read better. The volume is a thicker volume than the standard church edition due to it's made from a thicker paper than the normal thin scripture paper. Among the volume are 2 sections of colored pictures, each consisting of several pages of pictures. The first set contains all 12 pictures of paintings done by Arnold Friberg for the church. As a reminder, Arnold Friberg was commissioned to originally paint these pictures for the church primary department, and some of them were originally included in the blue cover Book of Mormon with the gold angel Moroni on the cover. I'll post a link to a previous video that goes through the Arnold Friberg background in more detail. As mentioned, all 12 pictures are added, including the not-so-seen pictures of Ammon defending the king's sheep and Captain Moroni in the title of Liberty. These pictures were not usually included in the other editions of the Book of Mormon. In addition to the Arnold Friberg pictures, there are several pictures of various Central American locations and artifacts. The captions around these pictures make a case for a Central American Book of Mormon geography model. Previously, I did a video regarding the Heartland model of the Book of Mormon geography, where the location of the Book of Mormon is proposed to be in the American Midwest. However, now that we are reviewing this 1978 edition, it's a good time to review the Central American geography model of the Book of Mormon. I know that comparing early Central and Latin America to the Book of Mormon geography is pretty common within readers of the Book of Mormon, and most readers and members of the church are pretty familiar with a Central American geography model. On a personal note, I was brought up comparing Central American locations to possible Book of Mormon sites. Among the pictures within this 1978 edition are the Observatory in Chichen, Itza, and the temple in Tikal. Interesting, the picture was taken before the steps were cleaned of debris like it is today. 2 of the most significant pictures are the tomb of Palenque and the Tree of Life stone in Izapa. So the tomb of Pakal in Palenque depicts a Mayan looking up heavenward, where a quetzal bird and a quattle snake is perched on a cross-looking structure. This Quetzalcoatl is also recognized as a great fair-skinned god who came from the stars, depicted by 11 sets of 3 stars, or 33 stars in total. The Tree of Life stone depicts several human figures underneath a fruit tree, some of which are looking towards the tree, some have their backs turned to it. Additionally is a watery course flowing around the base of the picture. The pictures in the book expand a little more by showing baptismal fonts, intricate stone carvings in Peru, and even a picture of Machu Picchu. I guess there are some that expand the Book of Mormon geography to extend into South America also, but the main point is to showcase how sophisticated early Western Hemisphere pre-Columbian societies were, which add validation to the Book of Mormon society being viable in a Western Hemisphere, specifically maybe in Central America. I know that these pictures are from classic Mayan architecture, but the Book of Mormon people could be a part of pre-classic period, which is defined between 500 BC and 300 AD. Obviously, I can't explain the Central American Book of Mormon geography comprehensively within a short video, especially while reviewing one edition of the Book of Mormon. I realize that there are scholars who are far more experienced on Central American geography, and I also know that there are academics not part of the church who are very critical against Central American correlation to the Book of Mormon. Either way, I hope I've done enough to encourage others to understand some conditions between Book of Mormon geography and Central America, and that several pictures are depicted in this 1978 Book of Mormon large print edition. However, after the 1980s, the church did begin to encourage readers of the Book of Mormon with more spirituality and faith-based emphasis. They allowed other groups like farms and other conferences to discuss Book of Mormon geography, while the church reduced its need for physical proof and focused on the members' faith and personal revelation. So thanks everyone for lasting this long through the 1978 large print Book of Mormon review. Please feel free to tell others about this series if you found this informative. If you have a special or unique edition of the Book of Mormon that you'd like reviewed on this series, please contact me at bomeditions@gmail.com. Happy scripture studying, everyone.